So let's go to the next point now. So now here is the situation that a teacher faces, where most of us are at this point, that you wrote learning objectives for specific topics and modules, you also wrote learning objectives at the course level. But the next point all of us need to pay attention to is make sure that the topic level learning objectives and the course level learning objectives are aligned with each other. Because one is at specific level in the course, the other is for the course as a whole. These cannot be independent, they cannot be separate, and they have to be exactly aligned to each other. So this is one requirement that the teacher has to fulfill while doing course design. The second requirement is that in most courses these days, 40-hour course, semester long course, complicated topics, you have a large syllabus, lots of topics, and not just lots in terms of numbers, but there are lots of interconnections between these topics. And what we want students to be able to do is actually see these connections, make these connections themselves between the different topics and different concepts in the syllabus. So as an expert in the domain and as a teacher, you have an idea of what these different topics are and how they connect. But for a novice student who is learning it for the first time, being able to see these interconnections is not very easy. And when we think of our syllabus, even if we print it out in 3 or 4 pages and give it to a student, a syllabus has a long listing of topics, one after the other. And what's missing in a syllabus is these interconnections for a novice. As an expert, I'm sure you can do it. So there is a problem, or not a problem, there is something lacking in a syllabus the way we write it, even though the syllabus is where we start. One is that the syllabus doesn't have these objectives and it's a little hard to align these if all we have is the syllabus. And secondly, these interconnections are not clearly visible in the syllabus. So what is needed is a back and forth connection between the learning objectives at all levels, at all cognitive levels, as well as at course, module, unit, class level, and the syllabus. So these two ideas, these two concepts, so to say, have to be interlinked. And so far what we have done in all these sessions, what we do is first we set up the problem. We say here is a situation faced by the teacher, here are some gaps or here are some needs, and then we think of the solution. So here the situation faced by the teacher in this slide is actually the problem, and one possible solution is actually given by the concept map. So what the concept map or the technique of concept mapping helps us do is fulfill these requirements that we just talked about in the previous slide. These are the same requirements, that teachers need to make sure that the learning objectives at course and module and unit levels are all aligned, and students should be able to see the connections.